Hello everybody, this is Josh Bycer from GameWisdom.com. Welcome to another episode of Game Wisdom Examines. For this one, we're taking a look at the, as of the time of this video being posted, should be out, Lumo. This is developed by Gareth Noyce, and it was made to be a passion project looking back at the old school action-adventure games back during the, I think it's like late 80s, early 90s, where they're built around isometric exploration and puzzle solving. I've had my hands on the game for like the last week or so, but I was able to finally be able to put out a video on it. And I like the game, but I don't love it. I think some of the adherences to old school design clash with some of the more modern sensibilities and ideas introduced in the game. But you're going to see that in this video. First off, make sure you have a gamepad, or you're going to be in a lot of trouble playing this game. We'll start a new game. Because this is a action adventure game, anything that I show you will obviously be spoilers. So that's why I want to start this on way back at the beginning of the game. I think I'm like 3/4 of the way done the game in my main file. But again, I don't want to spoil anything late game for you, and I'm sure that the early game will give you more than enough to show you what Lumo's about. Now there is a adventure in old school mode. Ooh, music just got really loud. And I'm going to keep it on adventure because I find the game a little too frustrating to play with finite lives. Start a new file. You can choose boy or girl, doesn't really matter. Let's go for green this time. And we'll make it a girl. Now this is a very important part. This tells you how to set the control orientation. One second, I just want to alt tab out for a second just to make sure we are recording, and just so I can talk clearly. This is very important to how the game controls. Basically, if you keep it on the first one, which is what's highlighted now, when you press up, your character moves diagonally up left. And I found it to be way too much of a mind screw to play this game. So I prefer to play the game on this medium one, which is basically up is up, down is down, all that. Just very easy to control. Anyway, let's get into it. While we're waiting for the game to load, we'll keep this to about, I want to say, under an hour, maybe close to it, depending on what happens. So basically it's an open day, everyone's playing computer games, everything's all fun. Who are Kung Fu? Okay. Now unfortunately this game seems to be broken, and you are zapped into it. Of course that's definitely a reference to the classic movie Tron. And we're now trapped in the game world and have to figure our way out. You've also been turned into like a little tiny wizard. And the game starts off pretty interesting, how it limits a lot of mechanics and design just to sort of introduce you in. I have this little tiny bunny hop right there. Now there is the map book. Well, actually that's the status book, which we can't get yet because we don't know how to jump. Now you are one hit from dying in any room. If you die, you will restart back at the closest door, or if you die on like platforms, the closest solid platform. Now that ducky is a collectible which we cannot get just yet. We do need to return later on. There's another one. Let's see if we can jump on the crate there. And what we are looking for is our first upgrade, which is a jump power. There are a few upgrades in Lumo, nothing like crazy Metroidvania though. There's another duck. Again, the game is teasing you with the stuff which we can't get just yet. Now as you can see, the game keeps to this isometric perspective. I can tilt the camera to some extent, but it's going to keep here, and this is where the problem I have with the game is. As you can see, as you get further away, it becomes a lot harder to gauge the perspective of where your character is in relation to other items and obstacles in the room. Now, these early rooms where things are kept small, it's not too bad. But as you'll see, hopefully later in this video, when we get to longer rooms, more rectangular shaped, it becomes a lot harder. There we go. Oh, I got an achievement too. Must be stuff that was added in. Now, one thing I do like about the game is there are a lot of secrets. Cassettes are another secret collectible. So with the agility orb, we can now actually jump. Which now means we can pick up those little duckies by bouncing off of them. Now the ducks will only count when you leave a room. Again, it's kind of tricky to get the perspective there. And this will become more of an issue, again, when you get to later, more advanced puzzles. Now, the game doesn't tell you any of the secrets, so you pretty much have to find them on your own. Get another ducky. Usually if there's a way to climb up, there's a good chance there's a secret there. Now again, it's kind of, you can see how sometimes it's able to gauge those jumps. You can use your shadow to measure things to some extent, but it's not always a perfect one. Now this tells me there's pretty much going to be a secret up here, because I know I can climb up. No idea what they're used for either. Now we got our book, and this introduces the status menu of the game. Again, I'm pretty sure there must be a secret around here. Yep. Now we need a key to get going, classic adventure game style. The game will introduce the concept of a map real soon. I can move some of these boxes. The game, as you can see, goes for a very minimalistic style. There's not going to be any tutorials. Nothing's really telling you what's going on. I'm sure that's a reference to something which I'm not sure of. But as you can see, this is where sort of the perspective gets a little bit trickier to manage. So we need to get the ducky. There we go. As you can see, it gets very tricky to gauge these distances. And there's the concept of the helpful box. There is a key, which is what we're going to be needing, but we don't have it just yet. Each area of Lumo is self-contained, so you never have to return to a previous area. But you do want to make sure you try to get all the collectibles beforehand. These are deadly spikes. I know what you're saying, it looks very simple so far, but again, this early stage definitely hides some of the nastier elements of the game as we get later in, and the puzzles give way to more dangerous obstacles. Now with the map in place, now you can't see where we are, so we have to go buy important items. Again, 1 second. And again, in these smaller rooms, it's very easy to gauge a distance. As we get to more of these longer shaped rooms, it just becomes a lot harder. I like the star background too. Looks like this is the right way. There's also secret mini games hidden too. I mean, if the game kept at these types of rooms, it wouldn't be too bad to gauge these distances. Now here's another way up. And if we don't see anything like the first 30 minutes, I may just load a quick play on my layer file just to show you one of the rooms that I do mean. Alright. Here's another thing. Simply, that's all there is in this room. Now we go for it. Now these types of long rooms are what I mean, but of course when there's no obstacles you can't really see that. Drop down. This introduces the concept of these boxes that basically do that. And the game does do a good job of introducing new environments and new challenges. Here. There's so many puzzles in the game that it can be sometimes hard to keep track of where the solutions are to things. The game does throw in a healthy mix of like these kinds of environmental puzzles, logic puzzles, etc., etc. The right way is... It's kind of weird what just happened there, but we'll go with it. There are a lot of like difficult jumps sometimes that can be also made more challenging by the camera. Now you can see in this bigger room, this is another good example. It can be very difficult again to gauge where you're at. So you want to try to keep your character to the center of the room so you can see basically the perspective where he is, or she is in this case. And we got the map, we can see where we are at. Look for those secrets. I mean, this room just screams secret, doesn't it? Disco elevator. I really don't know what that was. Not sure what that rope is or why the toasters are evil, but let's listen to that crazy music. And you can tell the developer definitely has passion for the genre. This is one of those games you can really feel that personal touch to each of the rooms. Everything was basically placed there explicitly. And you can see in this case the camera actually moves or follow you along. I wish it did that with a lobby more puzzle as well. Like right here, the camera would have followed you this much in the puzzle rooms, it would be a lot better in my opinion. or give the player more ways to control it. Because this little nudge just doesn't seem to be enough. That open. There we go. You can see it is a little tricky gauging where you are in relation to the obstacle, so you always have to compensate a little bit more. Now when you're moving in one direction like this, it isn't too bad. When the game starts forcing you to move in a three-dimensional path, either going in and out of things while dealing with the isometric camera, it does become a lot trickier and a lot more frustrating in some places to navigate. There's our key we needed. So I think with that we can finish this first zone up. Okay, yeah, it should be back here. Now the game does lock you from backtracking to previous zones, just keep that in mind. But we're still good. And this is where we get our first, I guess it's a power-up? Or special item. So the idea is, I think I pushed this out too far. Come on, buddy. Don't know why the crates like me. There you go. Guess is that I need to get out of the game. Take your brain to another dimension. Pay close attention. Gets added to our thing there. I just got the achievement SD or not SD. So you can see we have a collectible in terms of those rubber duckies. Again, to make it easier on you, you can just leave a room and go back in to lock the ducks down. High five. As you can see, we are now over there in the far right corner. See, again, it's just very hard sometimes to gauge just where exactly you are. Even when you pay close attention to the shadow, it sometimes doesn't work out for you. As the rooms get larger, that becomes a lot more challenging. So where are we? I think we just go up here. And again, there's a lot of secrets to find in this game, and I'm sure I haven't found them all yet. I think those are supposed to be like the rings from Sonic. Good old fan puzzles. I guess there's another good example. Thought it was on there. Yep. Again, we need to lock it down. There we go. can't pick up any real weapons, unfortunately. You do get a wand power-up later in. Again, lock it down. I don't know what happens when you get all 32. In my first file, I only got 31. Clean me. That's going to rely on us doing a little objective over here. Again, you're going to die most of the time from not being able to properly gauge these jumps in relation to what's going on. Oh my god. Come on. There we go. And this becomes all the more frustrating again when you start feeling more in 3D space. Little fan-blowing puzzles again. As we get to these larger rooms, it just becomes very challenging to gauge where you are. Now, one annoyance about the game in terms of its design is that when you go back and forth between rooms, you do have to repeat any environmental and sometimes logic puzzles in that room, because the rooms will reset upon re-entry. I do like this idea, just like drop the bar of soap in. Introduces a new obstacle. As you can see, we are having to repeat this part again. While it doesn't seem so bad now, when you get to the later parts of the game where you're trying to backtrack to find secrets or get some of the more complicated puzzles, it does become a bit annoying. Oh, my mistake. There we go. Damn you. That's much better. Again, just be on the safe side. barely make out the shadows sometimes, like right there. Yes, this part. Again, there's that perspective just being very difficult to make out when you're trying to make a jump or gauge something that's away from the center of the screen. Because you pretty much have to do these puzzles by just missing, adjusting, etc. Which is why I could not see myself playing this game with a limited live pool. Come on, ducky. What? But yeah, now this is just an optional puzzle, or an optional reward, but you're going to find more and more of these becoming mandatory as you get later in. Come on, I got it, come on. I think another issue is that some of these things don't cast a shadow. And I'm not seeing my shadow as I'm making the leap. But yeah, this is pretty much a good synopsis of the problem I have with Lumo's camera. If I turn the perspective. This is one of the ones that just drew me nuts. And you can see why. I thought the game just did like a hiccup there. And you're trying to make the adjustments in midair. So this is a good screenshot to show this off. There we go. Ooh. 1 second, I'm just alt-tabbing out just to check the time. See what's going on. Secret stars, you always have to do the exploration. We're now in an unknown area. You always have to find the map. Come on, Bubble. Now we can see where we're at. If there is something up there. Nah, it doesn't like you can make that leap. Fine then, we'll try from over here. I don't think I'm going to make it, but okay. Not sure how I made that one and failed the other ones. Here is a good example. As you can see in these very large rooms, gauging the distance can become a lot trickier. Now fortunately, because of how the environment's shaped, I can see my shadow as I'm making the transitions. But when you're asked to move in and out of a 3D space with how the camera's positioned, it becomes a lot harder to make those adjustments. again, to the game's credit, it does get fairly creative with the puzzles and making sure that there's always something different to challenge the player with. Oh, I don't even know how I made it up there, but I'll take it. And again, you never know where you're going to find a secret. We are over here. So it looks like there is a locked door over there. So it's over here. There. Then we have to come back here another way. Yep. Another plus about the game, it does save at each room. So if you do have to quit, you're usually not far away from where you were at previously. I know we're getting closer, we passed the half-hour point, so I don't want to play too much more of the game. Nope. But I do want to show you a really good example of what I mean about the frustrating cameras. There. I think I see it. Oh, we just go down here. We'll be coming back up the long way. I think we'll get to the end of this section, and then I will give you a little tidbit or sneak peek of what's frustrating me, and then we'll wrap up this examination. Back here again. And the game really throws a lot of these sections in at you, where if you mess up, you have to repeat it by going through other rooms again. So we gotta do this once more. What? Again, the perspective just makes it very frustrating sometimes to gauge these distances. And you're going to be making a lot of jumps which are pretty much like on the edge of these platforms. So if you don't hit just right, you're going to come short. Come on. This third time's a charm. Oh. It's great that I'm having this trouble now while I'm recording, and I did like on my first try off recording. That's always great. There we go. But now if you fall off again here, you're going to repeat the whole section. Yep, conveyor belt challenge. Hey. Not sure why you had to do all that, but what the hell. And you can bet there's a secret up here. Okay, where are we? We should be coming to the end of this section. There you go. Got the precious ducky. Now there is a small sense of like plot when you start running into other things, but it's basically kept minimalistic to just get you through to each puzzle area. Back. Oh yes, this part. This is another good example of camera and perspective really making things more frustrating than they should be. I'm not gonna make it. Oh no. I think you can guess what we have to do here. Come on. Oh. Oh yeah, if you think that it took me more than one try to do this with my other character, you'll be right. Hopefully I've learned my lesson, but we shall see. Yay! Whew. Yeah, it's not too bad when you can see the shadow on the ground or on the platform, but that's not always there. Secret. There it is. But let me see. Yeah, we're over 30 minutes, or we're hitting 40, so I think it's time to wrap things up. And I think just in time, too. This is still considered the early game. So before I go, I just want to show you a good example of the difficulty that I was having. Again, spoiler alert here. This is a very advanced area. So I mean, this is where things get very difficult when you're trying to gauge, as you can see, 3D space and you can't see your shadow. I'm dead. Level 1 lets me reveal secret things. Yeah. And again, it just becomes very frustrating with some of these later puzzles. I won't show anything more on fear of spoilers, but that's going to do for the spotlight of Lumo. I think that should give you a pretty good idea of what the game is about. Pretty much puzzles and environmental challenges. If it wasn't for the camera and the isometric viewpoint sort of clashing with the larger rooms and more the perspective issues, I would give this game a 100% recommendation. But with that, I can't fully recommend the game. It's still a great idea. It's a real passion project, as you can tell from the handcrafted rooms, but I just wish that the camera was a little bit better, or there's a little bit more convenience built into it. And as I said at the start, there's just no way I would want to play this game on old school with a limited live pool and trying to deal with these perspective issues. But that's going to do it for this play. So, as always, thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and of course share with your friends. Subscribe on Twitch and Twitter under Josh Bycer to get the latest updates when content goes live, as well as thoughts from me throughout the day. And you can find me on Patreon under Game Wisdom, and donations would be greatly appreciated in order to keep things going, allow me to keep putting out great content like this. So, once again, thanks for tuning into this Lumo examination, and I will see you all next time with another game. Take care.